All right, we are sticking in the land of Lincoln now to talk to Illinois State head coach Steve Holm. In addition to an exciting season just for the Redbirds in general, also Duffy Bass Field hosting the MVC tournament at the end of the regular season. That's always a cool event and a big deal for those campuses to get to host that. First off, Coach, thank you for joining us this morning. And then what has you excited about this season?
Yeah, yeah, no, thanks for having us. I think we're in a spot where last year, a lot of these guys did not get the opportunity to play their first year here on campus. Judah Morris had 30 at bats, I think, that first year with a couple of different injuries. Shy Robinson broke both hands. So we had some guys that are integral parts. And last year, I thought our team did a job of like this of kind of dipping their toe in the water with confidence wise, and then you get hit and they'd lose it. Then the last, call it 25 games or so, whatever that number was, that they kind of played free and loose and were pretty confident. So obviously being excited about the fact that maybe we start off not dipping our toe in the water like we did last year.
Yeah, it seems like on paper you named a couple of guys there, but last year's lineup was obviously strong, but it feels like this year's group has a chance to be just as good. I mean, to what extent do you feel like maybe you have a little bit of a chance to have a special position player group here?
Yeah, I mean we got there's a couple different spots where we got hit a little bit on the portal, but I thought we hit back maybe even harder than we got hit, and it'll just be how soon those guys get comfortable. You've seen some guys, Dominic Listy at Indiana State come in from a lower level NCAA and come and do extremely well, and Kyle Gibson would be that pick for us. Obviously, coming from Millikan University, he's a career 369 hitter and won the Gold Glove there. How soon does he get comfortable? Is that day one? Is that day five? I don't have that answer. Graham Mastros is as good of an athlete as we've had since Ryan Cermak. Does he come in with I'm comfortable day one. I've already been Division One. Those are answers that that's why you play the games, right? And and Braden Bakes has a chance to really solidify the middle of our lineup. Probably behind Judah and Dan, but he didn't get to play last year as a freshman in Indiana. He separated his shoulder, missed the entire season, had a huge summer. Does he show up on day one and just feel like he belongs? And so I think how soon those newcomers feel like they belong, that'll be how soon we get rolling.
Speaking of big summer, Shy Robinson swung the bat well in the Northwoods League. That league is obviously a particular grind. So guys that succeed there, I think there's something about that. To what extent have you seen some of those strides maybe carry over to where he's a little more of an offensive threat come this season?
I think if you look back to 2 seasons ago, Shy Robinson was an offensive threat as a freshman, and the second game of his career, he breaks his hamate bone. Comes back, misses the 6 weeks or whatever that was, comes back and he's a freshman, and everybody else midseason for him, and he's kind of spring training for him, and he's got some ups and downs, and he had a couple weekends where he carried us, and that's usually my sign for a freshman. If they can carry you for a weekend, they're going to be really good, but I also know they're going to be freshmen. That usually means you suck the next weekend. And then last year, he's hitting in the 4 hole playing shortstop, and he twists his knee on a wet day at practice, and he tears some cartilage, and we have surgery, and he misses 6 weeks. So he's had some really bad luck that I think he's been an offensive threat since the day he got on this campus. I just think college baseball hasn't got to see it due to the fact that he's had some unfortunate circumstances.
On the mound, Tanner Perry, see a guy ready to kind of you see as being ready to lead the rotation, be a workhorse for you guys.
Yeah, I do, except he had the flu this week, so he kind of
Ugh, yeah.
he I was disappointed in his health. But ultimately, yeah, he's our guy that gives you a chance. You can walk in and beat anybody with his stuff. It ran up to 95 miles an hour with cutters, and he's also got a curveball and a changeup. He's got the whole package. It was great to see his development last year. He was at another school in our league, and I think he threw about 20 innings the previous year and walked about the same amount. And he got a chance to go out and we changed a couple things, and he really flourished for us, and we'd like to see him take that next step.
Luxury of having Husak back at the back end. I imagine that has to be a little bit of a comfort blanket for you there.
Yeah, we went into this time last year, and we had one returning pitcher that we knew was going to throw a lot of significant innings. That was Cam Maybe, and every other spot was brand new, and we were as much as you try to carve it out in the fall, I mean, you don't really know until the lights come on. And we were down in Florida, and Joe Husak finished the game for us. I think it was the first game of the year. And we're like, well, maybe he's that guy, and we kind of brought him in thinking he was going to be a starter. And he he's an adrenaline junkie. He plows snow in the winter, mows lawns in the summer, and feeds off adrenaline in the spring. So that role for him fits perfect, and it's just kind of that's who he is.
Yeah, to really do that role well, coach, you got to have like a maybe a little bit of a screw loose back there. That's just kind of part of the profile.
Yeah, I mean, I played with Brian Wilson, and that guy
Yeah.
would probably be
Hmm.
my favorite of all time. Joe Husak is a little bit more grounded than that, but like I can call him in the summertime, and he'll answer his phone on his little earbud or whatever, and he's like, "I'm mowing the lawn." He's yelling at me. He goes, "What do you need?" And so he's going to be a great landscaper when he's done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, coach, good luck to the Redbirds this spring. Continued good health, continued good weather in Bloomington Normal. We won't cross our fingers too hard on that because it is the winter after all, but looking forward to seeing you in the spring.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It is 60 degrees here today.
Hey, now see, we'll take that. We'll
All
take that
right.
for sure. All right,
Thanks,
coach. See ya.
thanks, Jeff.